understand that everybody starts at zero. Everybody starts at zero. Nobody starts at 10. Nobody starts at 100. Everybody starts at zero. And that means you don't know anything at first. Nobody is born knowing how to drive a truck. So there's no shame in your game because you're still learning how to drive. But please understand this. As great as it feels to make a successful trip one way from the West Coast to the East Coast, because that feels really great, you still have to make the rest of the trip and come back from the East Coast and go back to the West Coast. Now you've made a round trip. Well, you've made a round trip. That feels great. And let's say you've made 2 of those round trips. That means you've traversed this country a total of 4 times. You've seen quite a few things. You sat down for quite a while. You did a lot of things, right? You drove around, you drove through weather, you did this, that, and the other, saw all kinds of crazy accidents and stuff like that. Okay, does that mean that you have now attained all that there is to attain? No, that means that you still have a whole lot to learn. It doesn't mean that you're worthless. A lot of drivers want to forget where it was they came from. I don't know why you want to forget where you came from, because I remember where I came from, and I know what it was like when the first time I started his truck. The guy that was teaching me how to drive. First time I started his truck, I couldn't believe it. I said, okay, here I go, I'm gonna start his truck. But the first time I moved his truck, I backed it up because that's what he told me to do. He said, what you're gonna do first is back the truck up. That's the very first thing I'm gonna teach you how to do. And I backed it up in a straight line for 40 feet. That's what he wanted me to do. So that's what I did. And I learned how to do that. Then he showed me how I was going to move the rear trailer tandems away from the curb that he had over there. And what I was going to do to get them about a foot away from the curb. Or from that mark, about 2 feet away from that mark where the curb was. He showed me this stuff and said, we're going to work on that. You'll be able to drive forward because I know you can, and I know you know how to drive a stick, a manual transmission. But I need to show you how to back the truck up first. That man taught me everything. He taught me how to walk a truck up on a sidewalk, right? How to jump a curb with the truck so that you don't damage the tires, okay? He showed me how to take care of the engine after I'm climbing a hill and I'm working that engine at Detroit, working at Detroit hard, coming up the hill, and how I'm supposed to back off of the throttle a little bit. Don't stay on that throttle as you crest the hill, because it can cause other stress on the engine that it's not necessary to cause, right? He was teaching me all of these things. He taught me how to conserve my wiper blades, right? Because for a couple of reasons. One, you use them up, you got to buy some new ones. 2, nobody feels like climbing up there all the time and changing the wiper blades. So, that's what's going on. So yeah, transcontinental, beautiful, but keep doing that. You will get better, and it will only get better, right? I don't care how bad your day is or how bad your day was. I don't care how bad. Here's the good news, the great news. That day will never repeat itself again. That's the good news. So you could be having the worst day known to humanity, and after you go to sleep and you wake up and it's a new day, that day's not going to repeat itself. That day was unique. That day was as unique as your fingerprints are or as your irises are. They tell me that no snowflake is ever the same. I don't know how they figured that out, because that means you have to check all snowflakes. But they do say that no one's fingerprint matches anybody else's, and no one's iris matches anybody else's. You can have people who have similar personalities, similar attitudes. They can have similar looks, right? But their fingerprint's not the same, and neither is their iris. Certainly, their DNA is different. Each day is also different. It is not the same. So, when you're having a bad day, and you will have them, they'll go away. Trust me. And your next day won't be bad anymore. And even if it is, it's not the same as the other one was. You gotta have a positive mental attitude. And you must keep that positive mental attitude, or else you're not gonna survive. That's it for now. I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.